If you would, please help me welcome Steve Melzer.
Yeah, Lance is part of the new generation. We're recruiting into this industry. A lot of new faces and a lot of new ideas coming in. You're going to hear some of them today, which will be exciting. We decided to do this course when we found some discoveries by accident. However, you know, in the world we live in, that's usually the case. Serendipity strikes, and if you're watching, you can figure it out. And that's what we did. We were working on the ROZ and the San Andres, and David Vance, sitting up here, was our guy that helped us through understanding some of the biogeochemistry that was going on there. And then all of a sudden we wake up and we're drilling horizontally in the ROZ, and we said, well, we got to learn about horizontal wells. And then we started hearing about sour oil wells in the shales, and we said, that sounds a little bit familiar to what we were learning in the ROZ with H2S generation there due to biogeochemistry. We have a full day for you. Mix a little bit of geology in here, mix a little engineering, and show you some of the correlations that we've made which have opened our eyes. The best anecdote I can give you is that we engineers think we can go out and production line drill, and Mother Nature usually tells us that we made a mistake. And that's exactly what's happened in the shales and in a variety of areas, not only the Permian, but in the Eagle Ford and I suspect the Bakken as well. There's some curveballs and there's some sliders and there's some change-ups that she throws at us, and we better be watching. And I think maybe the last case history today will be the one that really does open your eyes as to that. Amy Patterson will be talking about an area in the Delaware Basin that you'll find fascinating. But let's dive into some of these slides. I'll be followed by John Lorenz. John's been around the world looking at fractures. His experience and ability to communicate that experience to us is exemplary. And we were just excited when he and Scott Cooper, his partner in that business, decided to come to Midland and be part of our agenda. And then Richard Baker, likewise. But Richard is an engineer, a reservoir engineer, has a lot of experience with shale and the Weyburn Project, hydrocarbon miscible flooding up there, a lot of experience around the world in fractures. So he's going to bring some of that perspective and experience to us as well. And then I'll come back up and talk about our favorite case history in the San Andres that opened our eyes. This was about 3 years ago now, and give you insight on that. We have a lot of data from that particular case history. And then Dr. Alex Bump is coming up. He will talk about the Gulf Coast, and they've got a great case history down there that he's got a lot of data that should open our eyes about the types of faults and fractures you see down there. Scott Cooper, who, as I mentioned, is on John's team, they have laid out the core in the back, and you're welcome to look at that at your leisure during the breaks or whenever. And that would good examples of fractures they've encountered in core around the world. And then Scott's going to have a case history in the San Juan Basin and how that's impacted the production of natural gas in that play in Four Corners area. And then Amy will close out the case histories with the shale in Western Delaware Basin. And so those 4 case histories, I think, are especially meaningful. We decided to put them last so that you could kind of look at some of the science and engineering that we talk about in relationship to the case histories that we see.